Hello, welcome to my video. It's OT19, Road to Gamer 19,000. And I am here today to somberly present to you the 2024 Paladin and have they basically completely lost the plot on what a Paladin is and have ruined the class. Before this video starts, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more 2024 D&D, D&D Reborn, whatever you want to call it, content and builds soon as enough. So yeah, let's just talk about the Paladin. Holy hell, have they completely nerfed what Paladins ever was. The Paladins have received the most unnecessary nerf in all of D&D. I do not care. I have seen... Oh, this video isn't going to be as analytical as it might seem. I am going to analyze some of the features, but this is mostly just going to be me being angry and me ranting on how they've ruined my favorite class. Paladins now just suck. Okay, the problem with the Paladin was that it could do too much burst damage. It could release too many high-level smites to like too many times and just do too much damage that no one else could contend with. Which, fine, whatever. But now, when you realize the fact that every Marshal's damage potential has been kicked in the balls thanks to Great Weapon Master just being fully very bad compared to what it once was, you now start to realize, okay, all the marshals' damage have significantly been lowered. But every other marshal got damage buffs. The monks are doing so much more damage now. The rogues have more, they were never damage focused. Barbarians are doing damage. Fighters, again, 19 trillion attacks every short rest. Like, come on, fighters are going to be doing damage. So every other class got significant damage buffs except for paladins. Paladin's smite, or the Divine Smite feature, has been fully destroyed. It has been spat on, and Wizards of the Coast fully has lost what it meant to be a paladin. Paladins are now a bonus action and a spell, which is just disgusting. So much of the flavor of Paladin has been lost. Solely because they made one idiotic mistake. And the worst part about it is, this doesn't even fix the main problem with the Paladin. The main problem with the Paladin was that it scaled so poorly compared to what multi-classes you could do. I don't care if I can have Find Steed always prepared. Until level 13, it won't be able to fly. But if I take about I take about 3 levels of sorcerer, 3 to 4 levels of sorcerer bard, it can suddenly fly. And here's the problem with the 2014 Paladin, is that once you take 6 levels of Paladin, 7 or 8 for some of the later subclasses, because of how good the auras were, you had no reason to beat any other class. Because if you go into the Bard, you gained... Because how multiclassing should work, multiclassing should bring out niches of your characters. If how the Paladin should work, if you want to be an ultimate defensive character, take Bard. Ultimate supportive character, take Bard. You get Bardic Inspiration, you get Bardic Heal, you get all the cool Bardic utility spells, you get all of that cool stuff. But the true problem was that if you are taking Bard levels, you don't lose anything that makes the Paladin good. You still gain the Paladin's ridiculously powerful strength. So there's no real reason to stay as a straight Paladin, because if you went into Bard levels, you just got more. And if you went Swords Bard, then holy hell, is your AC just going to be impossibly high. And if you multiclass into Sorcerer instead, your spells are now going to be potentially even stronger, and you're going to be able to have access to the full Cleric spell list, because Divine Soul Sorcerers gain access to the full Cleric spell list. Meaning, if you multiclass into Sorcerer, you are become more of a Paladin than you are if you stay straight Paladin, which is beyond stupid. And yes, and the thing is, this issue still isn't fixed, because what Paladins should be, what Divine Smites should be, is a feature that is not tied to spell slots. In my personal opinion, the best way to fix Paladins is by making their Divine Smite not a spell and not take spell slots. Make it take its own resource. And if you want to, you can mirror the amount of spell slots you have to the amount of smite slots you have. And like this, the paladin now becomes a lot more nuanced. If you want to stay pure heavy smite damage, you stay straight paladin. If you want to become more supportive, more, more a better ally to your allies, you go the bard route, pick up bardic inspiration. Now your smite damage will lose some, but you're trading utility for smite damage, for martial prowess. Now, maybe you want to be more dive into your more spell casting, become more offensive. Then you would go into sorcerer levels. Yes, you're losing a lot of your melee smiting capabilities. Well, you're not losing them. They're just not enhancing. But you gain your spell casting, your twins, your quicken meta magics. So you become a better spellcaster. And as you can see through all of those routes, you're gaining something, but you're also losing something. And this basically just tells the paladin players that, oh, if you stay single class with paladin, yeah, you probably won't have the best support, but with lay on hands you'll have decent support. Yeah, you won't have the best spell casting, but you still will have some pretty good spell casting. And your damage will still be pretty good. Meaning, if smites weren't tied to spell slots and were not a bonus action, because whole bonus action smites are the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life, you could make paladins a lot more interesting to build, because you kind of have to see what way do I want to build this paladin. It adds diversity. It makes it that building a paladin is, oh, paladin 6 or paladin 7 and then rest sorcerer, divine soul sorcerer levels, boom, that's the build. It adds diversity to the paladin and really makes you think, yeah, once I reach like level 7 or 6, I could take 4 levels of sorcerer to get faithful steed and make it fly. But I would be giving up a lot of progression with my smites. I would be delaying my 3rd level smites for a long while. Is that really worth it? And it basically just makes this game of checks where you have to be like, okay, I can get this, but I can't get that. It makes you think more of how to build your character. And yes, it does make character creation decently complex, but not to the point where it's like a must have. Because each paladin will just be good at something. And if a straight class paladin player say straight class paladin, they actually have a reason to. Because a level 2 paladin that is a rest sorcerer should not be doing higher level smites more consistently than a 20th level paladin. A 18th level sorcerer with 2 levels of paladin should not be hitting harder and more consistently than a 20th level paladin. That straight up should just not happen. That is dumb. And the thing is, this is basically how the rogue sneak attack works. A 20th level rogue will do more sneak attack damage than a 5th level rogue. And you see, that's fine, and that's good. But the thing is, with the rogue, you could take some spellcaster levels to get good utility. You could take fighter levels to become really damaging. You could take ranger levels to get decent spellcasting and some pretty good damage amp. That's the thing. You could take different paths with your rogue to make them stronger and what you want to be good at. And that's how the paladin should work too. You can take different paths to make them stronger at what they're good at. But the way Wizards of the Coast done it, it just makes it, oh yeah, you only get one smite now that takes up your bonus action. You better multiclass into sorcerer or bard so that you can be hitting as strong as is physically possible because it costs so much more now. Their version of the paladin smite promotes multi-classing more and more, because as a paladin, you don't want to waste your whole bonus action to do 2d8 extra radiant damage. You want to waste your bonus action to do 4d8, 5d8 radiant damage, and the easiest way to get high radiant damage is by taking sorcerer, bard levels, or even warlock levels for all means. And oh, don't even get me started on warlocks and how they completely annoy me with how. Don't even get me started on that. Overall, as I'm trying to point out, how multi-classing should work and works for a bunch of other classes, it should enhance one pillar of play for your character. It should enhance its support, for Paladin at least, it should enhance its support, its attacks, or its magical capabilities. And in 2024, multi-classing to Sorcerer increased most of those with Divine Soul. But now, if you wanna do that in 2024, that issue really isn't resolved. Yes, Divine Soul Sorcerers no longer exist, but you don't no longer have a reason to stay Paladin. And that's the big problem. The only reason, and that's a big problem with the old, I'm stumbling on my words a little bit, cause here's the thing. Monks, I want to be a single class monk now. Monks have so many cool features that promote being single class. The rogues have some pretty cool features that promote being single class. Barbarians have some pretty cool features that promote being single class. So do fighters, so do wizards, so do sorcerers, so do bards, so do warlock. But paladin have have zero. Because the thing is, staying as a single class paladin actively hurts the flavor of being a paladin, which is just so infuriating. Because I don't understand how somehow you can make being single class worse for your character's flavor than being multi class. If you want to be a paladin, you you are basically just shooting yourself in the foot in 2024 if you don't take some Divine Soul Sorcerer levels or a Hexblade Warlock level. But now, in 2024, that problem is still there. You're shooting yourself in the foot if you don't take multi-class levels, which is why, because most people will just complain about it but not provide it for real solving. If you want to, you, Wizard of the Coast, or you in your own games can make it that paladins, their smites no longer take spell slots. Divine Smite is no longer a spell, it's back to being a class feature. And basically, it takes smite slots, which per battle, I say maybe proficiency times per battle, you can divine smite an enemy using one of your smite slots. So now here, look here. I'm gonna show you how my changes fully add to the flavor of the paladin. Now, when I imagine a paladin, I imagine them to be a holy being. Someone that probably wouldn't let their anger get hold of them. Someone that is balanced, as a paladin should be, and a good paladin should be. So I would like to imagine that maybe every now and then use your divine smite, not too often. And yes, this is a small nerf to paladins, because you're not able to divine smite every single turn. It is a nerf. My version, my fix for this paladins is all around a nerf. You're going to be doing lower level smites less often. But here, it adds so much to the flavor because when a paladin goes Nova with my version, it really means something. It means, oh, they're using the first two turns of combat all of their smites because they're so angry, they're so filled with vengeance or glory or with devotion that they have to take them out. So they're just wasting everything just to get it done as quick as possible, which could hold downsides because maybe at the end of the fight, if you didn't waste all your smites at the beginning of the fight, you could have divine smite and killed your enemy. And now, the only way to get more divine smites is by staying paladin. So my version better fits into the idea that, and here's the thing, even if you are an evil paladin, most evil characters kind of just do big, flashy attacks. I like to imagine, or pretty evil paladins are more kind of like they just go all out every turn out. I like to imagine evil paladins are a lot less control focused. They're more vengeful, more bloodthirsty than a normal paladin. And this would even teach them that yes, they are an evil paladin, but they still must know the control, have the intelligence of a paladin to realize when it's correct to use a divine smite and when it's not. And there's actual consequences for blowing through all of your uses of divine smite in a battle. There's genuine consequences. You can't use them anymore. Which I feel like in 2024 and in this version, there are no consequences to just using a smite every turn if you multi-class. That consequence is just not there. But with my version of the Paladin, there is a lot more. There is some checks and balances when it comes to Divine Smite. It isn't something you use every single turn because you can use it as much as you want. And for some players, proficiency bonus times for fight using your smite may be a little bit too restricting. But again, it's up to your DM. Change it as you see fit. And if this video, I don't know, gets like a decent amount of likes or a decent amount of views, I will release a PDF. I'll make another video releasing a Google Doc on all of my changes for the Paladin. And if you want to use them on your table. But definitely on my table, which I DM at, Paladins will definitely be having smite slots. with spell slots that are different, and probably will have some limit to how much they can divine smite. Maybe not. It depends, because I like powerful characters. But yeah, and also, I mean, how long is this video? Alright, we're at 15 minutes, and I've just been going on rambling about Divine Smite. So, to cover some of the other changes of the Paladin, because that's what this video is about. Flying Steed is, again, I already mentioned it. It's alright. It's it's a bandage. Radiant. I'm really happy that improved Divine Smite is now Radiant Strikes, because that's just so much clearer. Like, not that's a good change. And that's just the name. Or all this pretty cool epic boons. Pretty, and also my version makes the players stay single class, meaning they can get cooler stuff and become more of a paladin. But yeah, some other things I did want to mention is overall the new version of the paladin is very nice. And also, Paladin Smite being a bonus action just really sucks because they just lose on a lot of stuff. If you're a Grey Weapon Master Paladin, you can use your additional strike if you want to smite overall. And also, like, now your Divine Smite's kind of just worse. Because when you look at it with your Divine Smite, like, what just, like, using a Thunderous Smite is just, because, okay, how Eo Paladins used to work is that if you wanted to, you can go Supernova and when attacked, you'll deal damage, because you could Smite and do, like, Thunderous, Wrathful, Searing, Blinding, and, Banishing Smite. I think those are like the alternative smites you have. You could do that really big strike, which again fits into the Paladin's flavor of going all out and just making sure that you can protect those. Yeah, again, I already went over how the Paladins, at least in my idea, in my homebrew, will become a lot more like protectful, a lot more, and whatever. But now, I mean, as a Paladin, you have no reason to just not use something like Banishing Smite. Cause now Divine Smite is just pretty bad compared to all the other Smite spells. Cause at least they can give you something extra, like with Thunderous Smite, being able to knock someone prone. And yes, you do deal like I think on average 2 less damage, which is like, eh. But you can possibly knock someone prone, which can grant all of your allies advantage if they're melee focused. And hey, if you give a monk a constant stream of advantage, this new version of the monk, they're gonna be tearing through enemies. So it just now becomes where like now Divine Smite's kind of like a meh option. Like out of all the smites, it's not even that good because all the other smites have such good features and sometimes scale equally to the Divine Smite or a little worse, but their features are so much better. It's just and also they should have increased the Divine Smite's damage by at least like a D8, made it 3D8. You're gonna make it a bonus action now, make it so like costly. Like at least make it like 3D8. Like at least make it a little more worth it. I don't know, that's just another small like little problem I had. And also, you can't use the new Poisoner's Feet with Paladin Smite, which I know dex-based paladins are like really uncommon, very rare. But it's just again like when you see something, oh, that's a bonus action, that's a really cool feat that I actually want to use with my paladin. You're like, oh, I can't divine smite now. So yeah, overall, I just feel like the new Paladin is pretty tone deaf, pretty blind to the flavor most people bring when they play Paladins, and overall, it's just really annoying. So yeah, that's it for today's video. If you guys did enjoy it, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And yeah, LT19, signing out.